the still on the night, it's our turn.
What's up, Star Wars Unlimited fans? It's Loopee, Mcbober and Solo from Late Night Gaming here, and we are here for our spoilers. And with no further ado,
I am a Jedi.
First up, we got Power from Pain. It's a 3-cost Vigilance Villainy event with the text, give a unit +1/+0 for this phase for each damage on it.
Alright, so this is a buff card or a pump in blue, which typically does not have a lot of pumps. We have a couple of possible interactions here. You know, not commenting on the viability of the card or some things you should be thinking about if you're deck building with this. First, Kira.
So, Kira's actually pretty good with this because of her flip ability. Putting damage on all units for you, especially your own units, can combine really well with this card, and costing 3 can fit with in your curve of another 2-cost event or unit or upgrade. So it's good there. Also, Kira having grit, this will allow Kira, who comes out with 4 damage on her, to attack for an additional 4, making her swing for 8.
Right.
Now, the downside is that it does leave a window for your opponent to interact, however. It's not like a play it and hit, but it's still the threat of having 8 damage on board.
So, rules-wise, I mean, it certainly appears like this will stack, right? Because grid is something different that does the same thing, but doesn't use the grit keyword like some other cards do. So, I mean, presumably you'd be able to get the damage from grid and then also from Power of the Pain, right?
Yeah, it's basically double grit.
So if you're, doing a combo grid deck, this is your card. Now, Bobber, you want me to put Jabba up here?
Yeah, so I think naturally this sort of like grit, you want this with high health dude to get a lot of damage. And what came to mind for me was Jabba the Hutt. He's got that big 12 health booty there, and if you can get like 11 damage on this guy, this could give him +11 attack.
Yeah,
that could be good. If he gets all that damage and doesn't die. I mean, it's an if, but you gotta try to find some use to fit this card in, and I think a high health guy is the answer.
Yeah, no, and I can see it as being a spicy include in a control-y type deck, that has lots of high health units, and they're not going to see Power for Pain coming, probably. All right,
Probably.
Oops, we got the wrong side here, and then this one. Oh no, last one here is Grim Resolve. I got my sideboards on. Just comparing it to a similar card, this was a set 2 common. It was a very late reveal. I think it actually dropped with the set to where it wasn't spoiled, so they didn't know about it ahead of time. So Grim Resolve is not widely played, right now. It is a pump that's in red, and it gains grit for the attack. So, I mean, I think this is probably the most similar card. It's notable to me that they didn't use give a unit grit for this phase as the text to Power for Pain. So they must have wanted it to be double. And, I mean, I could see it as a combo piece type deck too. I mean, if you're trying to do one thing and sneak up on them, I mean, it's because they're not going to see a grid attack, 1-turn kill playing, but anything that can attack multiple turns per turn, at some point, if you can pump it enough, it presents lethal.
Right, and another card, I know we don't have it on the slides, but Krennic does work with the with Power from Pain as well.
Yeah, he's in blue right for you. All right, and that brings us to another spoiler.
We got Relentless Firespray. I think it's our first double aspect card spoiled so far. It's a 6-cost double aggression ship with 4 attack, 6 health, and on attack, ready this unit. Use this ability only once each round.
Right. So it does have the Ruthless Raider stat line, which is nice, being in a hole from removal. We put Boba Fett as a discussion, or Boba Fett as a discussion. Why is that? Booba?
Yeah, because I think the idea with Relentless Firespray is you want to get the stats huge. Because, double aggression traditionally has been, a really fast, hard-hitting color. So this is kind of going in a different direction of trying to play a little bit later, probably more as a finisher. But if you can pump the stats up with something with, a big pilot like Boba Fett, then, you hit for 8, and then it readies, you hit for 8 again. That could potentially close out a game.
Right, so if they leave it alive, I do think that it's a card that they have to remove right? Because leaving it alive on a double red deck could really come up to bite you. You know, if you have a big leader or some other way to pump.
And you
Very
know,
dangerous.
typically 4-6 is a very tough stat line, and in previous iterations of this game, space is a hard arena to interact with. But now in this space set that's coming into our midst, I wonder if 4-6 is as premium as a stat line as it once was.
All right, how about with Han Solo?
Yeah, so with Han, basically, I think the idea is you just get this card out a little sooner. A 6-drop that doesn't do anything is kind of hard to stomach often, but we know with Han you can make it a 4/4 for 5. So maybe get this guy a little quicker and get the show going.
Yeah, and I think double red Han is a deck. I mean, that's a deck that's close. Okay, so
Will this card replace attack pod, right? That's the similar card that compares to this.
or
Like,
Rancor.
do you want attack or rancor? Yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, you have basically the ground versus space disparity here. Both are double red 6-drops. The Rancor gives you Overwhelm and a bigger unit and a when played. The Relentless threatens more damage the next turn if you can protect it. So,
The
All right.
problem with rancor is like rancor hurts your own units as well. And so, like, talking to a lot of double red players, they typically end up cutting rancor. So maybe fire spray, even though it doesn't have a win plate ability, provides a solution to that slot.
it might just be needed for like a body in space too. I mean, if you're getting overwhelmed and you need something that can kill 2 things a turn, it can do that. More crawl and crawl back into it. But all right, so those are the spoilers. We're all excited for set 3. If you want to see as many 2-card reviews as you like, make sure to check out our shorts that Mcbober does. We brought in the whole team for this one, or at least half the team. So thank you all for joining us, and we'll be back with more late night coming up in set 4.